Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to InfernoKun, and back with another video talking about The Walking Dead, the final season, giving my wish list for episode 2. Before we go ahead and start, pretty much I want to go ahead and say thank you guys for the support on the last few videos. It has been doing pretty well, and I really do appreciate all your likes, comments, and subscriptions, all that kind of stuff. Welcome to the new people here, and hey, got a pretty good discussion coming up right now. So episode 2 is coming out in the next couple of weeks, and looking back at episode 1, it exceeded my expectations, my hopes, and I want episode 2 to do the same for me. So I'm gonna lay out my things that I'm hoping the episode actually accomplishes, and we'll see if it actually does. So let's go ahead and start with the very small things we have. Basically, Clementine, how she develops as a parent for AJ. I want to see more of that. Obviously, we are getting more of that, so that's what I want. Looking at AJ, I want to see how he develops as well, whether he's going crazy or if he's like getting eviler and eviler per episode. We'll see about that. But you know, other than that, but off of the story details, go ahead and talk about the actual game. Okay, length, episode length. Now, episode 1 was around 2 hours and I guess 30 minutes for the most part. That was pretty damn good. Okay, I loved it. I love having a long episode, and it was just packed full of awesome content, and that's pretty good. Okay, now I'm not entirely sure, and we don't actually know if episode 2 will be around the same length. Obviously, Telltale does develop the games live on an episodic schedule. You know, they have their schedule laid out already, but they do develop it, and compared to episode 1, which pretty much sets the foundation for the game, you know, engine-wise and assets and characters and story, pretty much, it has a bigger, dev cycle than the second episode. Now, Telltale does, I guess, have their story laid out, okay? They have all the story stuff laid out, and pretty much they're just, making the assets and animations for the episode, various things like that, getting the voice lines, all that stuff for the most part. So, looking at that, it can be kind of tricky to tell if they are going to make it 2 hours. Now, I would definitely hope for around 2 hours, okay? At least 2 hours. Obviously, we were kind of spoiled with the first episode, and saying that the second episode goes down to an hour and 30 minutes, that would not be very good. So if they keep it up with 2 hours, like around at least, my bare minimum has always been at least like an hour and 45 minutes, okay? So if we get 2 hours, I'll definitely be happy about that. But the first episode being 2 hours and 30 minutes, definitely, I don't mind that being the only one that's that long. But of course, this will be determined based upon your playtime. We do have hubs and exploration that draws out the game and talking to characters now, which is definitely really great. So another point on my wish list is, hubs and exploration. Keep that the same, okay? It was incredible in episode 1. Walking around, talking to people was definitely really good. I want more of that, okay? I want to go ahead and walk around at certain scenes, talk to people. That would definitely be really great, and episode 1 did it in such a great way that I hope it goes ahead and continues throughout the season. That would definitely be really good. So we'll go ahead and dive into some of the other story details for the most part. Okay, so a returning character. We're not entirely sure who it is yet, but it's heavily emphasized that it is Lily, okay? So throughout the story builder, you see Lily choices, and personally for me, I wish they would have shown the returning character in the first episode, okay, to be honest. I mean, I like how episode 1 ended off, but if it didn't end off that way, I would definitely like to see the returning character at the end. But I see where they're coming from. Having a shocking ending like that, it was definitely really great than compared to having a returning character. So maybe, they might go ahead and show it, at the midway point of episode 2. It'd be kind of similar to how they showed Kenny in season 2, episode 2, in the kind of middle, I guess, for the most part. Or they could go ahead and show the returning character at the end. We'll see about that as a cliffhanger. Not sure. So I would definitely love to see the returning character this episode, because if they go ahead and show him/her in episode 3, that's pretty much just that episode, and then episode 4 we have to spend with them, okay? So show it in episode 2, then we'll have episodes 3 and 4 to go ahead and talk to them and be around them. more time with them, okay? Definitely really good. So having more time around the returning character will definitely be really, really cool in my opinion. Now moving on to Lewis and Violet, okay? Personally, I'm not sure if this will be the episode, but I'm really thinking that they might actually do the whole Lewis and Violet choice here. Choose one, save one, okay? It might be a little bit too early for that, I'm not entirely sure, but we do have only 4 episodes, so I'm not entirely sure they're going to go ahead and do it in episode 3 or in episode 2, Episode 3 is kind of like, it's like in the midway point, kinda. But then episode 2 is like where things can go ahead and branch out really cool because we have one less episode. So what do you guys think about that? Should they go ahead and have the choice between Violet and Lewis in episode 2 or in episode 3? If it's even coming. I'm not sure if they will do it, but it's really heavily hinted towards that. And if you're going to be spending more time with Lewis and Violet, then it makes more sense to do it in episode 3, because I feel like episode 2 might be too early, but then episode 3 is like almost too late, We'll see about that. That one's kind of a iffy type thing on my wish list, but that's like a more of a, if they do it, that would be heart-wrenching and awesome and terrible at the same time, but it would be really cool. But if they don't do it, I'll be like, okay, that's good. They're both alive, okay, but we'll see about that. Other than that, we have more things about 10, okay? I want to learn more about 10, okay? Obviously, before episode 1 came out, they said 10 will have its own kind of build-up in an episode. So that's coming up, and I would love to see more about 10, learn more about him, because he's very, very interesting of a character, He's really to himself, and he's really like, just weird. And that's very intriguing to me, okay? I want to learn more about him and learn what he's been through and learn what happened to him and learn how he got that burn mark, That would be really cool to see as well. So hopefully we see more of, what happened to Sophie and Minerva, them being taken by the other group and how that affects 10. I want to see more of that, okay? And pretty much choices, okay? So choices. Now, one of the episode 1 complaints I saw was that it was a bit too linear, okay? And I really want episode 2 to branch out more. Various things kind of add to that. That being Lewis and Violet, the choice between them would be a pretty cool branch. And looking at the choices, I want to see how the choices in episode 1 affect episode 2. Now, there are some that I don't think that could really affect it too much. It could be like small things like dialogue, but only ones I can really gather how it affects, people is the Walker couple, how it affects AJ, and going fishing with Violet or hunting with Lewis could actually affect dialogue and various things like that. Not really too big. And then the last one that can make the most difference, maybe, in dialogue at least, we have the choice to go ahead and turn to Violet or Lewis for help, That could actually affect dialogue with the character. So that's definitely really intriguing. These choices, they weren't really too big, but they could have, small ramifications that could be present in episode 2, at least involving Lewis and Violet and involving AJ, various things like that. So I want to see more branching, more big choices, more hard choices, because right now we have not really had to, hard choices, okay? So that's why I think that episode 2 might be when we go ahead and choose between saving Lewis or saving Violet. And it would make sense. I don't think it'll be too early, because looking at Doug and Carly, they were in the first episode, okay? And they got killed off, okay? So looking at that could actually be a possibility. We get more big choices, more hard choices, and actually having choices from episode 1 being brought up immediately and taken into account and changing up dialogue and various things like that. So what do you guys think about that? Last thing I want to say in my wish list is the state of the boarding school, okay? So looking at the end of the game where you have this whole state of the boarding school, I'll have a discussion about this later on, but I want to see how that can differ. I want to see what choices can actually change the state of the boarding school. Will our choices in episode 2 actually kill some of them, like Mitch looking at Asim and Omar, all of them, Ruby, Willie, all of them, you know, that's a pretty huge possible death catalog, and I would love to see where they're going with this whole state of the boarding school that leaves it in different places. It'd be really cool to see, you know, different choices and different aspects of it, like, you know, Asim can possibly die, but then in one other save where he doesn't die, you know, things like that. Very, very cool. Okay, so I want to see more about the state of the boarding school. So I actually forgot this in my original video. I'm not entirely sure why, but the MCCAROLL Ranch, okay, the flashback. Okay, so I've been saying for a while now that, hey, I think that episode 2 will start off with a MCCAROLL Ranch flashback, which is definitely possible, okay? And now with the whole, you know, first look into episode 2, that is more than likely possible, okay? So I'm looking forward to seeing this actually happen in the game, you know, having it be a nightmare instead of an actual flashback is kind of a bit of a better, you know, idea, because of course Clementine and AJ are both traumatized by what happened there because they have nightmares, various things like that. So I'm hoping we actually go ahead and see the MCCAROLL Ranch and the nightmare and play through it for about maybe, at the very minimum, probably 10 minutes. You know, I don't want it to be too long, but I want it to actually provide some context on why Clementine is having these nightmares and why AJ mentioned that it was bloody there. Okay, so I want to see that. That'd be pretty awesome. So that's another thing I want to see is the MCCAROLL Ranch. That's pretty much it as of right now, my wish list for episode 2. Go ahead and comment down below your wish list for episode 2, whether it be the game length or the episode length, you know, various story details like the returning character, and, you know, various choices you want to make in the game. Go ahead and comment down below. I would definitely love to see what you guys are hoping for and your expectations for episode 2. It's called Suffer the Children, so maybe this whole state of the boarding school thing can actually be expanded upon because the children are suffering. Okay, so we'll see about that. We'll see when the episode actually comes out. Looking forward to seeing more, and definitely really intrigued. So thank you all for watching once again. I'm InfernoKun. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys have enjoyed, and comment down below. Don't forget, comment down below your expectations, wishes for episode 2. I'm InfernoKun, and I'll catch you guys next time on The Walking Dead.